Hey babes, and welcome back to Rambles and Makeup with your rambling host, DohiSama. Today, we're gonna do Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas, as well as talk about the movie Coraline. So grab your makeup, grab your brushes, and meet me in the bathroom. All right, gang. So listen, today we are trying a new face paint kit. We are trying this new face paint kit. I am very excited about this because I sat through some videos that other people did, like reviewing this product, and I was like, this looks slaptastic. So we are going to try this out today and see how it goes. And please give me your hopes and prayers that it goes well. And after I apply my base, then we're gonna start talking about our movie for today. So give me a moment. Okay, so first of all, I'm not supposed to be using you for this, but you know what? It'll do. Y'all, who would I be to a lot of my babes, to my dandelions? I spent entirely too long playing with like this freaking watercolor. So this, before I get into the movie review, this brand that I switched to use is called Planetoid Pro Face Paint. And like one thing that I really liked about them was that like when people were like reviewing them and stuff and like showing the videos, I liked how everything just looked so like smooth. But okay, one thing they said, and I don't know if I was just dumb for believing this or what, but they on a review said that it did not smudge when layering over other colors. Now, it could just be that because I just got through laying down some brown on my face that it is smudging. Pero, and it's not that it's smudging bad, but like there's a little bit of like brown on my brush, and I'm sitting here thinking, I thought you said it didn't smudge, but this is a little smudgy. So I don't know if the people on there was like, if y'all review this stuff and say great things about this, then we'll give you, like the $5 off discounts or what have you. But you know what? We're gonna make it work because you never know until you try, right? And I'm still in the process of trying new things and seeing what works for me. So I suppose that we and you get what you pay for. It's not like I spent a lot of money on this. So who am I to be just but I am a little disappointed in that fact because they were like, oh, it doesn't smudge and like it's a really good product and da da da. But like I said, anything could have happened. Who knows what could have happened and why it's smudging? Because it could just be a me thing. But it is very hard for me to control it because it's like it's water. So water-based face paint, while it is great and all, I can't even say that it moves. Y'all, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. The verdict is still out. I'm still trying it. I am also very new at this, like I say, so I can be a gooba gaba when I'm first trying out new things. So we just gonna believe that it's gonna work out for our good. Like we are trusting in the Father and we are going on about our business. So, anyways, friends, today we are talking about Coraline. Now, I said last week when I did the Beldan, the other mother, that I would indeed talk about Coraline. And so when I got to thinking about it over the weekend, I was like, yeah, why don't I like talk about this? Because Coraline is truly one of my favorite movies. Like Coraline would always slap. It will always be a bop, 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 bop to the top. It will always be a good movie to me. So when I first saw Coraline, I was in high school, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it did scare me. It really did. It took a toll on me. I am kind of a baby in regards to stuff like that, so I was like, ooh, shaking in my boots. So, for starters, let me get you into this. So, Coraline, it is. I feel like I have to put it in here. If you don't know the movie Coraline, it is like age friendly. You're, oh my goodness. Wait a minute, y'all. So Coraline, it is age appropriate, okay? I mean, it shouldn't give you night terrors. I can just be a big baby about stuff like that. But you, a real one, you should be fine. So, uh, Coraline is about this family who moves to like this house called the Pink Palace. It's Coraline Jones, her father Charlie Jones, and her mom Mel. Now, there's not really kids in this establishment. There's one kid, his name is YB, and we're gonna get into him in a second. But so Coraline, they move here, and first of all, Coraline, she has her moments. She can be a little, a little spoiled. But when it first comes on, she's trying to basically, you know, be a kid and like be into everything. And her parents, I guess they really had got like a new promotion or whatever at work. So I guess you could say that that's why they moved. That's what we're gonna chalk it up to. And so Coraline, she's trying to get into their business, and the mom and the dad are both like, can you just like give us some space and give us some time to be great by ourselves? And so Coraline's walking around this house, right? Getting into everything, like just being completely, like I said, a kid, And then let me start by saying, let me rewind and say, there was one part where these people who had moved them wanted a tip, and Coraline's dad literally gave them like $1. Don't be cheap, okay? Give people more than $1 if they have risked so much. Then, and to be fair, we don't know how the economy was in that world. Like, I don't know how much moving cost them. So he was probably like, you know what, all this money you done took from me, and you want a tip, buy, because right on probably wanted him to pay like $800 to move, and then was like, I want a tip on top of the $800 that he got paid to move the stuff. So you know what I'm saying? Just be gracious whenever you are deciding like who you want to give to, who you don't want to give to. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So anywho's, Coraline is walking around the house. This girl done unplugged the computer. Her dad is about to have a whole meltdown because he is not understanding like why he cannot get it together. Like his computer is short circuiting and stuff like that, right? And so, excuse me, Coraline ends up basically counting things around the house and taking notes of like the inventory of what's in the house and the picture. And there's this little blue boy on the wall, and I still want to know like what he represents because there is not like much mentioned about him, and I would like to know what he has to do with this timeline. Like why is he there? What does he represent? Like what does it symbolize? You know what I'm saying? Like give it to me. Give me the Lord. Okay. So, Coraline adventures outside, right? And she's Making her way downtown, walking fast, playing in the grass cause she's homebound. You know what I'm saying? All of that jazz. So she is being stalked by this black cat, and she's like, "You scare me to death, you mangy mutt." I'm gonna try not to quote because I could quote all of Coraline and just be so happy about it. And so while she's yelling at him, this guy pops up and his name is YB. Why born? She calls him Why Were You Born? Oh, sorry. That's just such like a it's such a flex, okay? It's a mean thing to say, but it's kind of funny at the same time. But YB, his last name is Love Love that. Love it. Love it. His last name is Love it. And so his grandma actually is Mrs. Lovett, and she owns the Pink Palace, and she, is responsible for like renting the Pink Palace out to people. He told her all of that jazz. And so Coraline meets YB, and YB's like, "Who are you?" Like, and then he's calling her Caroline instead of Coraline, first of all. Like, that people did me like that. They didn't want to say my real name, right? My name is Victavia, and I've heard Victavia a lot, and I'm like, how dare you? Because it is not Victavia, it is Victavia, and like put some respect on my name. So, anyways, YB is giving this girl the blues, and Coraline is just like, you know what? I'm not here for it. But so they start talking about this myth about the witch in the well, and come to find out, Coraline is touching poison ivy. So she goes back home, right? And the cat is judging her. Like the cat was judging Coraline since he met her. Like first laid eyes on her, he just started judging this girl. And so she goes home and she's telling her mom like, "Oh, I got poison ivy on my hand and like I could have died." And the mom is like, "Wicked, we all die sometimes in life, but it is what it is." So poor Coraline is sitting here have to like just get into stuff. And so she ends up getting this doll from YB, and it's a mini Coraline. Like it's a mini her. Now, when the movie first comes on, there is the sequence. And first of all, the beginning of the movie is like hands down one of my favorite parts of the movie. And it is the song, okay? It's the it's all of that. It's really all of that. And so this little doll was made for Coraline before she came. So whoever it was that set this doll up knew that Coraline was on the way. Like, she was making her way downtown. Anywho's. So uh Coraline gets this doll from YB, and YB basically writes her a note about how he found the doll, all of that jazz. Go watch it. It's really nice. So Coraline is taking this doll around the house, and that's when she's like getting into stuff and counting the walls. She's in the shower, smashing bugs, just doing everything. And so after that, her dad makes this like soup. And Coraline rightfully is like, "I don't want this, Jack." And he's like, "Well, if you don't want it, you could go to bed." And she's like, "Okay, let's go to bed." Because honestly, same Coraline, I would have also went to bed looking at that slop. I don't know if it was just like a reference because like kids don't like to eat their vegetables type stuff or what was going on, but that food looked very questionable. And sometimes you just gotta be a G about things and go to bed hungry because it's life. Oh, okay, so let's back up. At one point of the day, Coraline had convinced her mom to unlock this little door that she had found. It was like this little door in the wall. It was small, it was miniature, and it had a key. So her mom's like, "If I unlock this, will you leave me alone?" And Coraline's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever you want, lady, just unlock this door." But when they first unlock it, nothing's in there. So Coraline is trying to understand, like, what it is that happened. And her mom's like, "We had an idea, zip it." And so poor Coraline is left to wonder why everything is the way it is. And so when she's trying to sleep, right, she gets woken up by the sound of these mice. So what does Coraline do? Coraline goes after the mice because, kids, man, Kids are just bold like that. So she goes after the mice. She gets back to the portal door, and it is, what do you know? It is opened. All right. She can crawl through now and get her answers. So what does she do? She crawls through because she wants to get her answers. So she makes her way to the other side. And when she gets to the other side, there is an exact replica of her house. And so, like, there's a lady in the kitchen, she's humming and stuff, and Coraline's like, oh, hello. And the lady's like, oh, hello, Coraline. And Coraline's basically like, who are you? And she's like, I'm your other mother. And Coraline was like, other mother. So basically, this lady is telling Coraline that, like, everybody has another mother, you know, and like, basically everybody has like another life outside of the one they live. So she tells Coraline to go get her other father or whatever, and the other father is making up a song. Making up a song about Coraline. I'm sorry. I really do love that movie. I'm so sorry. I really love that movie. And so Coraline is listening to this song or whatever. She's a friend. She's a dog. She's a pal of mine. Listen to the songs, okay? Really, Coraline has some bop music. The soundtrack is nice. Even like some of the songs when she's like running in the garden, I'm like, this is such a nice song. But anyways, going on. So they eat dinner, and like Coraline is just stuffing herself with this food, right, that the other mother has cooked for her. And so then afterwards, they tuck her in the bed, tell her like sweet dreams, have a good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite, all that jazz that parents do, for their kids. So when Coraline wakes up, she's back in her other world. Now even that trips me out because it's like, logistically, how? Like, tell me how that this works, because if Coraline went to sleep, right, and she went to sleep in that world, right, and just how did they like crawl to her world to get her back to where she was going? Like, did she just kind of like teleport her back into like her life? Like, what was happening? It's just, it confuses me. It is strange, and I would like answers. But so, anywho's, Coraline wakes up and she's telling her mother about the other mother and about like how she had this rash, and the other mother put this cream on her hand to make the rash go away. And the dad, he's like, well, can you give me some of that magical cream? Because I got a rash right here on my. And the mom's like, and so, the dad, he's funny to me. The dad is one of my favorite characters. Like, Charlie, he has a lot of things to say, and he just be cracking me up. And so, Coraline, she's also trying to find something to do the next day. And so she ends up going to see this guy who lives upstairs to give him his meal. His name is Alexander. Let me see. His name is Sergey Alexander Bobinsky. All right, y'all. So there's this character named Mr. Bobinsky, and this man, he's quite enduring, but he's also a little weird, okay? So Coraline, she's taking his stuff up to him. And this dude is eating radishes, first of all. Because, you need vegetables for your bones to grow all nice and strong and eat your protein, kitties. But so Mr. Bobinsky is talking to this girl about nothing. But when she leaves, he tells her, like, yo, bro, my mice tell me that, like, you're in some trouble and don't be going in the little portal. And Coraline is like, the portal? But it's all boarded up. And so Mr. Bobinsky's like, the mice, they don't know what they're talking about. And, wicked, because it's not weird for a grown man to tell a child that the rat said to stay out of the hole. Right on. So she leaves, and she ends up going to see these two people named Miriam Forcible, and April Spink. I almost called her April Pink, so I had to make sure I was telling y'all right. So I was okay. So I always call April and Miriam sisters because they just act like sisters to me. But then again, they would act like best friends, I suppose. But like they are old stage performers. Hang on, gang, hang on, cause okay. So Coraline, she runs across these performers, these ladies, April and freaking Miriam. And basically she's not having it. She's not having these people because they love their dogs a lot. And I mean you should love your pets. You know what I'm saying? Because pets have feelings too. I can't wait to have a pet. I had a dog. His name was Oreo. He was like the love of my life, in the dog. But so Coraline ends up like getting out of their place. She talks to him for a little bit, but she ends up leaving because these people got issues. Okay, they tried to offer her candy, and they just So she leaves. She hauls up out of there, and she goes back home. So Coraline, despite Bobinski and the rats telling this kid to stay away from the other mother, what does Coraline do? She wants love and affection. So she goes back to the other mother. Because, right on, kid, we all want love. And so this is like pretty much what she does. She goes to see the other mother and the other father, and let them love on her because we all want to be loved. Also, the song for this week is Cintas by Vix. I don't know if I feel like I've put a Vix song as the song of the week before, but just listen, hear me out. It was stuck in my head as I started to like paint another area of my face. So I was like, well, right, because it's a good song. So you should definitely go listen to it, okay? I would sing it to you if I was not afraid to get the lyrics wrong. That's the melody. So, go check it out. Go check it out. Go bop to it. Vix is such an underrated group. They're such a good group, okay? They deserve more love, more respect, because they're a really good group. So, somewhere along the way, Coraline's other mother is basically like, Coraline, we love having you here. It's always a blast. It's fun. It's a party. It's wicked. Like, you are everything that, like, we wanted and more, right? So, they are trying to tell Coraline with the mother. She's like, if you would like to stay here, Coraline, there's something you have to do for me. And Coraline's like, what? Because this is a party. Like, I can eat whatever I want, do whatever I want, be the best that I can be. Like, what is it? What is it that you want, lady? So the other mother is like, you gotta put buttons in your eyes, Coraline. And she's like, we have magenta, we have green, we have sapphire, we have fuchsia, like all these colors of like buttons that Coraline can choose from. So of course Coraline flips out like any kid should, right? Because why would you think that a human child now, and she's human, why would you think a human child would want you to put buttons in her eyes, lady? Like, what is wrong with you? Why would you think that that was okay for you to like take out somebody's eyes as a trophy and like hang them on your it's weird. It's weird that she would think that Coraline would even want that, Hang on. So Coraline basically blows this lady off, and she's like, "I gotta get home to like my other family." And so when she goes to sleep and she goes home, she makes up in her mind that like she's not going back to that crazy lady. Now listen, first of all, let me tell you about some other scenes. Maybe they're out of order, but it's okay. That's why you should go watch the movie for yourself to see. But so at one point in the movie, Coraline gets mad at her mom, right? Because she wants these gloves. And the mama is like, "Baby, we cannot afford these right now." Coraline is beside herself with grief. And, she's upset because she can't get the gloves or whatever. And so, like, they're in the car talking about it. And she's like, "Your other school might be fun." Like, she's trying to encourage Coraline. And Coraline, as much as I love her, I really do. I love her. She's all over my bed. Not all over, but like, I got the blanket. I got the pop doll. Like, I got the shirt. I am a fan. I did not like how Coraline was treating her mom because, and I know it's a thing that like kids don't understand. Money does not grow on trees, lady. Like, y'all literally just picked up, packed, and moved. And sure, you're upset, you're sad because you're not with your friends anymore. Like, you have a new life or what have you. But the whole family had to sacrifice. And you're not working for nothing, Coraline. You eating and sleeping and breathing for free. So what are you complaining about, lady? And you, so the mom is trying to appease her. She's not having it. So when she wakes up and they're not there, I feel bad for her. But the more I watch it, the more I don't really feel bad for Coraline because like it's one of those things where like you never know what you got until it's gone. And Coraline did not know that she was taking her parents for granted until like, poopy hit the fan and she was left all alone with nobody beside me. That was Coraline. And so then Coraline is trying to tell YB why were you born about like what's happening because YB ain't even supposed to be up there. YB not even supposed to be near Coraline, which suspicious that the grandma would be like, I rent this house, but you can't be up there because right on, lady. But YB don't listen. These kids ain't none of these kids listening to their parents in this movie. That's what I'm gathering. So YB goes to Coraline. Coraline is trying to tell him about the freaking doll. And YB's like, "Lady, you're back crap crazy. Like, I don't want it anymore. I don't want to be a friend. I don't want to be a neighbor. Like, we can't even kick it anymore because you're just out of your mind." Like, Coraline becomes a football player and she's chunking shoes and everything at YB. And she's really hating this kid. So she has to go back through the portal, right? Because she doesn't know where her parents are. So then, the other mother, she's trying to figure out like what she wants, and so Coraline's like, uh, okay, let me see. So yes, they're at dinner, and Coraline's like, "I want you to let me go home. I want you to let me go see my other mother." And this is after the other mother has like given her the rat show and a YB with the closed mouth that won't make her mad. Like she has tried to fix up this fake life so that Coraline would like really, really love it. She hates it. Okay, she absolutely hates it. And so she's like, "I want you to let me go home with my real mom and dad." And so the lady's like, "Coraline, is that any way to talk to your mother?" And she goes, "You're not my mother." And so the other mother is like, "Coraline, you take that back." And Coraline goes, "No." And so the other mother like loses her mind. And she's like, "Ah!" And she grabs Coraline, throws her in the room. It was such a dramatic scene. And then she's like, "You can come out when you've learned how to be a loving daughter." And can you tell that I've watched this movie a lot? And so Coraline is in this room, and like this girl encounters ghost children. Now, the ghost children are telling her like, you ain't the first one, so don't feel special because she got all of us like that. But the difference between us and you is you're still alive and we are corpses. I'm sorry, it got dark real fast, I know, but literally the movie took a turn for the worse, okay? And so she's like, what does she want? And they're telling her like how the other mother works and this and that. And so the children was telling Coraline like the other mother made them play games. She did like so much with them, and then she took their eyes, and she just didn't like. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore like we used to do. It was one of those moments. So Coraline ends up getting free, right? She gets free, and she runs into the cat. And the cat's like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, you can talk. Like, she's astounded. He's like, nah, I'm just a big old wuss puss. Because that is what she called it. See, be careful of how you talk to people and things because you never know who's listening, buckos. And so, basically, her and the cat becomes friends. And the cat is basically giving her the 411 on the house as well, like about the other mother. And apparently, this cat has been around for generations. I really don't know how much time has lapsed between like each case between the children, but it is under the assumption that this has been going on for a while. Now, the kitty cat is just like, she wants something to love. She wants to feel loved. And I'm like, she wants something to eat. And he even says that. Or maybe she just really thinks you're good enough to eat. Because, human flesh is, like Bob's Burgers. Human flesh is just wicked. So, anywho's, Coraline convinces the other mother to play a game with her, right? And she's like, if I find the other children's souls or whatever, you got to let me go. Like, you got to give up this life. Give up your claims to me, like let me go back to the land of the living, right? Right. So there was this candy triangle that she got from the from the sisters, Miriam and April. I know that they're not sisters, but I'm calling them sisters. So she uses this triangle to essentially try to find the she has to find 3 balls, okay? One of them is like red with a star on it, one is black with something on it, and one is like black and white. I call it black and white. So she has to find these balls. So she ends up doing it, right? She gets it together. And like when she goes back home, first of all, she defeated the other father, and like he had to go because he was snitching on the other mother. But like to death do his part, he was like, "No, Coraline, here's the 411." And even the piano was like, "Shut your mouth," and he was like, "Absolutely not, because I'm making up a song about Coraline. She's a friend, she's a doll, she's a pal of mine." I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I could not resist. So Coraline is getting it together. She's getting these balls like she's doing what she needs to do, like she's bossing it, right? So everything just goes left. Completely left. And then Coraline ends up in the spider web. And the other mother, la 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 la. The other mother, she is showing her true colors, the Belle Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like she's a big bad ghost. She's a ghost. Okay, no. We got our song for the week already. So, anywho's but stay amongst the eggs. Hi, young one. But anywho's so she throws. Coraline is such a jerk for this, but she throws the cat at the lady and she takes off. And I mean, I call her a jerk, but I can understand because Coraline was like, "Oh, y'all been beefing wicked. Like, let me just put a little inconvenience on you here because my life is important. Like, Cat's got 9 lives. Coraline has 1 life. Like I got to get out of here stat." So she throws the kitty cat, right? And then she is making a beeline for the portal. So she gets back to her world. and everything is like copacetic, you know. She see, and then too, like when she goes back through the portal, if at one point it was like vibrant and like full of colors and full of life, it was so magical. By the time homegirl was going through it the last time, that thing was dark and decrepit. No love lives here at all. So Coraline shuts the door, right? The cat, he's okay. He survives. He comes and side eyes the hell out of Coraline, and she's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "No, you're not. Don't be mad. You just mad because he came back and you thought he was gonna die." I don't really know, but so there is a scene where, you know, we think it's over, but it's not over. So there's a final boss that Coraline has to take out. And honestly, this scene reminds me of my sleep paralysis scene when I was a kid. It was quite triggering because there was a hand that choked me out. And I thought like, well, this is it. So I'm pretty sure Coraline was thinking, well, this is it. She takes the hand, she bodies it and the key, and like, it's a happy ever after. She gets to paint she gets to do her garden finally. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mrs. Lovac comes up and finally shows her face. And I'm like, you a traitor. You are a traitor, lady, but you're right. Not your grandson, right? And the Beldan is defeated. All right, babes. This is my take on Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. For starters, Dad, I'm trying to record. I'm keeping this. For starters, I was very offended by the plant-based paint. Do not get it. Listen to me well. Do not get that water-based paint. If you're going to invest in something, spend money. I was trying to be cheap. I was trying to be cheap and get like what I thought could work. It did not work. It did not work. I was frustrated. Literally the first hour and a half was me trying to make it work. And thank God he blessed me with oil paint to fall back on because I got the look done. But do not do it. Don't listen to the reviews. I don't know if it was Amazon, the company, or the people, but I watched the reviews of that product, or like of them opening it up, and it is a no. I was very frustrated. I was frustrated. Also, on the same coin, you do have to try new things, because if you don't try, you're never going to know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. This brand does not work for me. So in anything you do, even when you are frustrated, don't give up, don't stop. Because I could have stopped, I could have quit, I could have been like, today is not the day. But today was the day. Today is the day the Lord hath made. Okay, we will rejoice and be glad in it, even when we are stressed induced. But I am very happy with how it came out overall. I feel very, very proud of it. I thrived and survived to get it done. So thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me. Of course, you know Coraline gets like a 10 out of 10, a 20 out of 10, 2,000 out of 10. It's a really good movie. You should check it out. It is a movie that has my heart, and like, I bought it, okay? I will watch it to fall asleep. I will watch it when I'm sad. It's just a good movie. The soundtrack slaps. Let me know what you think. Please comment below any kind of manga, any anime you would like me to read, watch, review, any movies, any shows. Please kiss me with the like button, okay? If you just want to talk to me, okay? And just always remember, you can do anything you set your mind to, even when it is frustrating, and even when you don't see like how the Lord is gonna make a way. Believe anyways that he's gonna work everything out for your better interest, and that he's got you, okay? And I am rooting for you always, and I hope that you know you can do anything you set your mind to. So please kiss me with the like button. Please subscribe. Turn on the bells for when I post. And as always, once again, thank you so much for just hanging out with me. So please always remember that the Lord does love and bless you. May he keep you. I love you. And first of all, I hope that you had an incredible week. And until next time, I do hope that you have an incredible week. And wherever you are, I hope you have an amazing day or an incredible night. Goodbye, guys.